Hey everyone, Ripley with Bob's Watches. Today we're talking all about oversized Rolex models and going over some of the largest options currently available. Also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date on our latest video content. Rolex watches are some of the most famous luxury timepieces in the world, but compared to other brands, the actual size of most Rolex models is relatively small. For example, even Rolex's largest watches would hardly qualify as oversized by most other companies' standards, and although Rolex has increased the average case size of its watches over the years, it has done so at a much slower rate than most other brands. The majority of Rolex's contemporary men's models all have case diameters that hover between 36 and 41 millimeters, but the iconic Swiss watch manufacturer also produces a handful of models with larger oversized cases. With that in mind, these bigger Rolex models are all more recent additions, and less than 20 years ago there weren't any Rolex watches larger than 40 millimeters. One example of a model that has steadily grown in size over the years is the Explorer 2. When it was first launched in 1971, it had a 39mm case diameter, which soon increased to 40mm with the introduction of the second generation during the 1980s. However, ever since the 2011 launch of the reference 216570, the Explorer 2 has had a case size of 42mm, making it larger than many of Rolex's other sports watches, including the Submariner, Daytona, and GMT Master. It's fairly common for sports watches to feature big cases, but on the more classically styled side of Rolex's catalog is the Skydweller that also has a 42mm case diameter. In terms of modern watch sizes, 42mm is somewhat average. However, the Skydweller is currently the largest non-sports watch in Rolex's catalog, clocking in 1mm bigger than the Datejust and Oyster Perpetual and a full 2mm larger than the 40mm Day-Date President. Also offering a 42mm case diameter is the Yachtmaster 42, which was launched in 2019 as the first watch from the standard Yachtmaster range to offer a case size greater than 40mm. While it is currently only offered in solid white gold and on an Oyster Flex bracelet, the Yachtmaster 42 measures 2mm larger than both the GMT Master 2 and Daytona, and 1mm larger than even the biggest Submariner watches. With that in mind, also within the greater Yachtmaster collection is the Yachtmaster 2 with its even larger 44mm case. While the standard Yachtmaster was designed for spending time on a boat, the Yachtmaster 2 is designed specifically for boat racing, and it features an advanced countdown timer with a mechanical memory. Tied for first as Rolex's largest watch, the Yachtmaster 2 is also among the brand's most complex, second only to the Skydweller with its dual time zone displays and annual calendar complication. Additionally, beyond its 44mm case size, the Yachtmaster 2 also offers one of the most bold and in-your-face aesthetics of any Rolex watch, either modern or vintage. Now, for those that like the iconic style of the Submariner but want something with a bit more wrist presence, the Seadweller is an excellent alternative that offers a bigger case, a helium escape valve, and even more water resistance. Originally, the Seadweller had the same 40mm case size as the Submariner, but with the 2017 release of the most recent generation, the standard Seadweller is now a 43mm watch, making it just 1mm smaller than the absolute largest Rolex models currently available. On top of that, also within the greater Seadweller collection is the Deepsea, which is Rolex's most capable professional dive watch and also the model that is tied for first as the brand's largest timepiece. Like the Yachtmaster 2, the Rolex Deepsea measures 44mm in diameter, but when it comes to this ultra-professional diver, its large case size allows it to be water resistant to an incredible depth of 3,900 meters, which is more than 10 times the depth rating of the already impressive Submariner. The Yachtmaster 2 and the Deepsea might be Rolex's absolute biggest watches at 44mm, but this is a fairly standard case size for many other luxury brands. For example, Breitling produces countless watches with cases that range between 44 and 48mm, while a diameter of 44mm is smaller than even the most compact Panerai Radiator watches, which all have cases that clock in between 45 and 48mm. With that in mind, Rolex's historically conservative approach to updating case sizes has ultimately resulted in its timepieces having a truly timeless quality that's seldom enjoyed by many other brands. During the peak of the oversized watch trend, there were some who criticized Rolex for not producing larger models. However, Rolex's decision to keep case sizes reasonable has ultimately proven to be the right move, and regardless of whether a Rolex was made this year, 10 years ago, or a full half-century in the past, it will always look completely at home and perfectly in style. Thanks for watching our video on the biggest Rolex watches. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date on our latest video content.